Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hey, this is Chris from Play Comics, a show looking at video games based on comic properties and how well they represent that source material. And depending on how fast Matt pops these out, Sugar Spite and Everything is Fine, which is a show where we're looking at the media we consumed as children and thought, hey, why were we supposed to forget about the lessons we learned here? And today, you'd think that maybe one day I would look at a comic-based game for this, but no. I'm here with yet another one that is not based on comics at all, and that is Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. There's kind of an interesting thing for this one. My wife and I, one of the things that we bonded over was video games. We both had them growing up. We both like them. We don't necessarily like playing the same games all the time, but we do have enough of a crossover where, we can go and enjoy playing some things together. And one of the things that we enjoy playing together are puzzle games where you're playing against somebody. So, you have things like Tetris in certain versions or Dr. Mario, things like that. And we would go and we would play those. And inevitably, she's better than me, which I am not afraid to admit, but she is. And it kind of caused a little bit of a problem with us because we would also use these puzzle games as a way of solving little arguments. I mean, not big things, because obviously when you're in a relationship with somebody like that, you need to solve big arguments in adult ways that are actually constructive and everything. But we would solve stupid little ones like, are we going to go to the restaurant that I picked out or the one that she picked out? Or are we going to watch the movie that I picked out or the one that she picked out? Stupid things like that. And what we would do to solve these was these puzzle games. And at first it was different flavors of Tetris. And that really proved to be a bad move on my part because she is really good. Then we switched over to Dr. Mario, and that was a little bit better because she's not as much gooder than me as she is at Tetris. And yeah, I said gooder, I don't care. But quickly it got to the point where, yeah, she's obviously better than me. So one day I'm kind of scrolling around through some things and I see this weird little game. Catches my eye because I like fighters. So Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. And I see these Street Fighter characters in here, but they're not in any way that I've ever seen them before. And I see these Darkstalker characters in there. And I don't really recognize them except for the part where, they're obviously Capcom characters because Capcom just has a look to it in the art style. But I look at them and man, these are really interesting. Okay, maybe it's a crossover fighting game. I don't know. So I go and I start to play it and it's a puzzle. I mean, it's your basic match the gems up to make big gems and stuff game. There's nothing too revolutionary about it, but it's just so cool in the fact that you have the character that you've picked basically acting out the fights that, how good they're doing is directly correlated to how good you're doing all of your gem matching and everything. And it's just really cool. And you can't even really watch it because you're sitting there trying to do all the gem matching stuff. So it's why are they making this effort to make this thing look so cool when I can't even pay attention to it because I have to pay attention to other things? And, but also it's a game where my wife is not so much better than me that it's actually fair when we use this to solve some stupid little arguments. And, it's just cool because the characters have a certain pattern that they drop down their gems on when you pop things on the other screen. There are some characters that are really good with their pattern and some characters that are really bad with their pattern, just based on how our brains work and everything. And one character, Dan, if you know, where his thing is really bad unless it's really good. It's basically the best or worst thing possible, but everything is just so cool with it. And my wife and I, this is just the perfect game for us solving our dumb little arguments on things because if she starts doing a whole lot better than me, then it drops things down on my screen, which, yes, that sucks, but also it's giving me more things to make gems with, to where I can use that to drop things on her. If I can remember the pattern of the character that she's using and how their gems drop, then I can use her being better than me against her and actually like have her essentially beat herself because of her just stacking things up for me. It's great. And it's a wonderful little game that has no business being anywhere near as much fun as it is. But I'm so glad that it is. And you could take this game and just have it be, okay, here's your characters. They're random characters that they made for this game, and you're done. But the fact that they took the effort to put Street Fighter and Darkstalkers characters in here, I think just makes it so much more fun with everything. It's just so cool. And I mean, it's just, I love it so much. Like, it's so cute little chibi art style. Everything goes. I mean, when the puzzles get going, yeah, it's a really, really fast-paced puzzle game. And you're going and making these chain reactions of things, making all these matches, doing all this stuff, trying to remember the pattern that your opponent is using. And it just works out so well for us. And this is one of the games that my wife and I truly like. This is a very fair, we're playing against each other game. And like I said, I mean, Tetris and Dr. Mario are great, but it's not fair for the way we were using it. I still enjoy playing it with her because when I can manage to beat her, then it's amazing. But Super Puzzle Fighter 2 is the game that is just... It's just so much fun, and so much of our time has been put into it. Like, I think we have seriously spent like 3 or 4 hours in some stretches playing this game, and it is just, it's great. And swap around characters. We've had times where we would ban each other from using certain characters. We've had times where we randomized what characters we had to be. Just, there's so many little things in there that just make it exactly what we like to have in this game. And I love it, and she loves it. And it's something that we still play today, although we don't usually use it to solve arguments as much as we did in the past, because I have it on the PS3 and it just takes too much effort to pop it out and use it to solve the argument. But it's still something we'll go play, and we'll play long stretches at a time with it. And I mean, I hope that everybody has a game in there that you can have you playing with a loved one, and that's the kind of thing that you have. Like, obviously I hope it's this game because it's just really fun, and the matches are relatively short, so it's great to play with lots of people if you need to rotate people in and out. But this one for us is always going to be one of our special games. And on a personal note, if you know me in real life, this is also where I started naming things with WTF BBQ at the end, which the WTF is exactly what you would think it is. BBQ is barbecue. No real reason. It's just Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, WTF BBQ. And I have no idea why that popped out, but it did. And it was that. And then it got picked up on some of the Dragon Ball fighters. And then now lots of things in our life are WTF BBQ when they're just crazy. And it's because of this game. And just, oh, this game is so much fun. You can play it on Game Boy Advance or PlayStation or Saturn or Dreamcast or PS3 or Xbox if you already have them on there because digital store and everything. But, just find a way to play this game because it is so much fun. And, if you don't like Street Fighter or Darkstalkers, hey, guess what? It doesn't matter. They're not important to this game at all. They're just there to be characters so that somebody didn't have to make up new characters for this game. But it is great, and I hope that everybody gets a chance to go play it. So, like I said, it's just amazing. But this game, I think it is very much the epitome of happy gaming.
Are you tired of watching your beloved characters being tortured by careless authors?
Are you sick of feeling like they could have swapped out all of the painful action and the plot would remain untouched? Subscribe to Books That Burn, the fortnightly book review podcast focusing on fictional depictions of trauma.
We assume that the characters' reactions are reasonable and focus on how badly or well they were served by their authors.
Join us for our minor character spotlights, main character discussions, and favorite non-traumatic things in the dark books we love.
Find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.